everyone, Gaming Smiley here, and still Batman Day, so I'm going to review another Batman film, and this one is very good, trust me. It's Batman Begins, which came in 2005, directed by Christopher Nolan. The music's done by Hans Zimmer. Christian Bale plays Batman and Bruce Wayne, and he does a good job, and everyone does a pretty good job with their roles. Especially the guy who plays Falcone, Tom Wilkinson. He does a very good job. Liam Neeson is Ra's al Ghul. That could technically be counted as a spoiler, but whatever. Yeah, but this film's like, what, 14 years old now, so doesn't matter that much. But yeah, I'd rate this a 9 out of 10. I know that quite a few of these are just 9 out of 10s, but that's because I really like them. I find them really good. I'd rate this 9 batarangs out of 10. But with that, spoilers ahead now. Non-spoiler stuff is done. So yeah, I'd recommend this. Definitely give this a watch if you haven't. It's darker. It's quite darker. A bit more grey. A bit more realistic Batman. But yeah. So the film starts with a young Bruce with his pal Rachel in the gardens of Wayne Manor, and Rachel finds a arrowhead, and basically Bruce steals it, and he falls down a well, and his dad saves him. Turns out this is just he gets attacked by bats as well, but it's also a flashback. So, with this flashback, turns out that Bruce is actually in a prison in Korea, and he ends up in a fight in the yard against the guy who calls himself the Devil, and he beats him. Also, there's one line there where, basically the guy says, "I am the devil," and Bruce retorts back with, "You're not the devil, you're just practice," which I like that. So, yeah. Anyway, he gets grabbed after beating the shit out of all of them. There's a good dialogue exchange that I really like, which is when they're dragging Bruce away, they say about protection, and he's like, "I don't need protection." They went for them, and I thought that was good. So he gets thrown into solitary, and he meets Liam Neeson playing Ra's al Ghul. And basically he tells him that there is a temple in the mountains. If he wants to change his life, he should go there and fight. If he wants to fight crime, so yeah, he ends up going there, and he gets hit quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie, he gets hit quite a bit in there, and he has a flashback, which is his dad pulls him out of the well and puts him to bed and asks him if his mom would like this set of pearls because it's their anniversary, I believe. But yeah, so Bruce, says yeah, and they go to the theatre, and they're actually on the train, and Bruce is asking them questions about what they do and how they keep Gotham safe and all this, and basically his dad answers and makes them sound like the greatest people alive in Gotham. But yeah, that's when they go to the theatre, and Bruce has some PTSD because there's a bunch of people with bats. He has a panic attack, basically. That's not PTSD, that's just a joke, but whatever. Basically, he panics, and he asks his dad if they can leave, and they leave, and they go out the back entrance, and they get robbed by a guy called Joe Chill, and his parents get shot, and they die, and of course he's very sad about that. And that's the flashback. Keeps going. It's at the funeral where he ends up meeting the guy who's going to run the company for the next 20 years. And also, there's another thing that I am forgetting. Oh yeah, there's the bit at the police station before where him and Gordon have a chat. Gordon says that he'll be okay, that he's safe, and then Loeb says that they caught Joe Chill. And then after this flashback, there's a duel that Raz and Bruce have on the ice, which is, I'm pretty sure the scene is called, I think I know what it's The Will to Act. It's pretty good, it's pretty well done. Basically, then we find out a little bit about Raz and his past, and after that, Bruce, the next thing we see is Bruce returns to Gotham, and he has a memory about him and his dad messing around with medical stuff, basically listening to his dad's heart, and yeah, he has some memories as he goes around Wayne Manor, and he has a talk with Rachel, and Rachel has they talk about old times and how they miss each other and all that, and then Bruce brings a revolver with him to the court hearing because he's planning to kill Joe Chill, but he gets killed anyway by someone hired by Falcone, and Bruce then ends up getting a lift from Rachel, and Rachel, he basically says that he's happy that Joe's dead, and she's not very happy with him over this, and they have a discussion, and Bruce says that the system is broken, and Rachel, and only death is like true justice, basic League of Shadows shit, well, League of Assassins stuff, and basically, good old. Then he tells her about the gun. She slaps him twice and says that his dad wouldn't be happy with him, and then she tells him about how Falcone is damaging Gotham, and that although he may have got rid of the killer, he's still damaging Gotham, and he's basically ruining what they stand for, what they stood for. I mean, and so Bruce tosses his gun into the river, and he goes and sees Falcone, and Falcone has a chat with him about fear and power, and Bruce gets pissy and leaves and gives his jacket to a hobo, but then he starts running, I'm pretty sure, back to Wayne Manor, and he has a flashback showing how he got arrested, which is stealing his own stuff from his own company, and an initiation, basically him getting his tests, which he passes until he is told to kill someone for being a criminal, and Ken Watanabe does quite a good job pretending to be someone, pretending to be Ra's al Ghul. But yeah, it's like Natalie Portman and Keira Knightley in The Phantom Menace, where Keira Knightley is pretending to be Padme. It's kind of like that. But yeah, so Bruce blows up the temple and saves Raz from dying, and by falling off a cliff, and after this, Bruce is on a plane with Alfred, and they're talking about Gotham and such, and Bruce is saying that he's to become a symbol, and he doesn't know what symbol yet, but elsewhere, Crane is at back to St. 20. Basically, Scarecrow is at the hearing for Zsasz. He's getting sentenced, and he gets sentenced to go to Arkham Asylum. And Rachel doesn't like this because everyone who's a criminal is getting sentenced to go to Arkham Asylum when they should be going to Blackgate Prison. But there's a reason for this, which will be revealed soon. So basically, Bruce discovers the symbol that he wants to use, which is a bat, because it's flying around the ceiling, and he's scared of bats. And then he turns the cave under his house into the bat cave, which takes a little while. You can't just make a fully functioning bat cave in a few hours. But basically, Crane ends up having a little chat with Falcone about drugs and Arkham and such. Anyway, and Wayne's company talks about possibly making weapons while Bruce arrives. And he has a chat with the head of the company. He tells him about the Applied Sciences Division, which Lucius works at, who is played by Morgan Freeman, who does a good job. So there's Michael Caine as Alfred. But so this is where he gets his bat suit and his gadgets, not his cowl. He ends up getting his cowl parts from China, and they make that together, him and Alfred. So Bruce talks to Gordon. He's wearing the ski mask, but he's got the bat suit on. It hasn't been painted yet. It's just been painted black. It's not got the bat symbol or anything like that on it. And he pretends to be holding a gun to Gordon's head with a stapler. I really like that. I find that funny. But after this he jumps off the roof of the building and lands on a fire escape on another one really badly and kind of hurts himself. So he goes and speaks to Lucius about possibly getting something to glide on, which he gets his cape, which is made out of memory cloth, and it goes hard if you put an electric current through it. And so that's how Batman glides in this. This is also when he gets his Batmobile, which is the Tumbler, which is basically a really fast tank. And this is where we get the line, "Does it come in black?" I like that line a lot. But Bruce decides to listen in on a conversation between Falcone and a crooked cop, who's actually Gordon's partner. And they talk about drugs and Rachel, who's sniffing around, and they want to get rid of it. But also, after this, Bruce and Alfred test the cowls and realise maybe you shouldn't land on your head, but you shouldn't do that anyway. But anyway, Bruce puts everything together and he makes his batarangs, and this is where we get a scene that I really like, where Alfred asks him why bats, and he says because he fears bats, and that it's time for his enemies to share his dread. I like that. But so then we get the scene at the docks, which I really love, and I know I've definitely referenced the "right here" line. It's basically a Predator bit from the villain's side, where Batman's picking them off one by one at the docks, and then he gets Falcone, he just grabs him through the roof of the car, and he says, "I'm Batman," because Falcone's like, "What the hell are you?" And then he headbutts him. He looks at a hobo, and it's the same hobo that he gave his jacket to, and he says, nice coat. And he zips away, up into the sky. So after this, he saves Rachel from a couple of guys that are planning on killing her, and he gives her a bunch of evidence against Falcone and such. Basically, this is where Gordon gets the idea for the bat signal, because Batman puts him on a light, and the way that his coat is, it makes him look like a bat. So after this, there's a scene at the hotel where Bruce, he just has to be Bruce. He has to be a typical a-hole of a billionaire, and he sees Rachel. He buys the hotel, and he sees Rachel. They have a little chat, and about how this isn't like him, and all that. But after this, he talks about some injuries that he has sustained with Alfred, and then there's a talk about the microwave emitter, which basically something was stolen off of a Wayne Enterprise ship, and which basically evaporates water. It's designed to cause problems with an enemy's drinking supply out in the field. This is when we get the bit with Falcone and Scarecrow. Basically, Crane puts on Scarecrow mask and gasses him. I like this scene because at first you just see like Falcone be like, yeah, I'm crazy, blah blah blah, whatever, whatever, Doc, and then Victor's just like, nah, man, you ain't crazy, not yet, and then he blasts him with a fear gas and scares him and makes him scream, and then he gets all. That's when he gets he ends up sentenced to Arkham. He's there forever now, and Rachel starts asking questions. Why would a 52-year-old man all of a sudden, be fucking nuts? Which anyone can go nuts at any point. Or Joker just proves it takes one bad day. But yeah, so Batman goes and talks to Gordon, and he basically says about how Gordon's partner is in Falcone's pocket, and Gordon's like, well, we can't get him to talk. He won't talk to us, and he's like, he'll talk to me. So I love the interrogation scene. They make Gordon's partner look like such an asshole, to the point where you're actually happy to see him get interrogated and almost dropped off a roof. But Batman finds out from this guy that the other drugs are going to the Narrows, which is a completely made up thing for this film. It's nothing to do with Batman in general. But he goes to the Narrows and he meets the kid who plays Joffrey in Game of Thrones when he was a kid, and he gives him a little gadget, and then he goes in and he sees that the drugs are being hidden in teddy bears, and they're fear gas. They basically fear drugs, and he gets gassed by Scarecrow and lit on fire, and then he wakes up a couple days later, and it's his birthday. It's Bruce's birthday, and then we get so it's Bruce's birthday scene, and Lucius ends up giving him ends up getting the antidote, and he gives him a couple of extras that he leaves in the Batcave. Well, 3 extras that he leaves in the Batcave. And so it's Bruce's birthday party. Lucius gets fired, and Rachel is taken to Arkham. Bruce goes there. He basically goes there, saves her, because she gets in Arkham. As I said, she starts asking questions. Scarecrow is all like, well, fucking follow me. And then he shows the entire evil plan, which is they've been dumping fear drugs into the water supply of Gotham. And you could probably guess where I'm going with it. It doesn't activate unless it's vaporized. So they're going to use the microwave emitter to vaporize the water and scare the entire Gotham, and then he fear gases her. And Batman shows up and he beats the shit out of all the thugs. And then he gases Crane without the Scarecrow mask on. And that's when we get Nightmare Batman. Then we get something I really like, which is when he saves Rachel. He gets Gordon to carry her, but he gets a storm of just bats. Like a fucking Batnado appears, and he jumps down and he escapes through Arkham, blasting doors as he goes, and all this. Anyway, he makes his way back to the Batcave with Rachel after a chase, and everyone's like, what the hell? This is a fucking tank that we're going after. Anyway, he escapes. He gives her the antidote, and he gives her the 2 others. He basically says, give this one to Gordon and give this one for mass production. And then he knocks her out, and then he takes her home. He actually gets Alfred to take her home as he goes to his birthday party. Anyway, Ra's al Ghul shows up, and he's basically like, oh, the League of Shadows, we're gonna fuck up Gotham, we're gonna do it good this time. And Bruce is like, what? No, I'm protecting Gotham, stop. And he's like, no, that's not gonna happen, fuck you. And then they basically burn his house, and leave him to die. Alfred helps him out, which one of my favourite Alfred lines ever has been said is all those bloody push-ups and you can't even lift a bloody log. But I like that bit. And he goes down to the Batcave, and he gets back into his Batsuit, gets in the tumbler after a little pep talk from good old Alfred, and he goes and stops him. There's a bit where Scarecrow gets tased in the face, and it's pretty funny. And then the microwave emitter is put on a train, and Batman saves the kid and saves Rachel, and beats the shit out of a bunch of people. And and then he makes his way to the train station, where he beats the shit out of a bunch of ninjas, and then he catches up to the train. He has a fight with Raz, and he wins, and Gordon gets to drive the tumbler and blow up the bridge before it can hit Wayne Tower, which is where the main water supply is, and that caused every pipe to blow. And basically, after that, he basically leaves Raz to die. He leaves Raz al Ghul to die when the train goes to blow up, and he gives. After this, Bruce gives Lucius his job back. Actually, gives him the job of the guy who fired him, which is his name's Richard. Anyway, so back at the burnt down grounds of Wayne Manor, Rachel starts talking to Bruce about how Bruce is the mask and Batman's the real person, and Bruce just wants to rebuild the house. And Gordon uses the bat signal, and he tells Batman that Scarecrow is still on the loose, and that there's a new threat in town, which is the Joker. And yeah, film ends. Tease for the sequel, which is The Dark Knight, which is one of the best films, probably the best DC film ever made. Or to be fair, possibly the best film ever made about a character who doesn't have superpowers. Or superhero film that has a character that has no superpowers. But yeah, as I said, 9 out of 10 Batarangs. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, do what you do. If you're new here, you'll help me out by hitting the subscribe button. It helps quite a lot. And if you want notifications, you've got to hit the bell, because that's a thing. And I'll hopefully see you next time.